Please state your name and position at King's.
I'm Dr. Laurier. I'm a professor of education specializing in early literacy development.
Are you familiar with the Carrie learning curriculum?
Very familiar. About 3 years ago, I actually worked with Cynthia Post, the author, in having my students share Carrie in various school settings.
So you've used the Carrie learning curriculum before. How do you use it?
Well, essentially, you begin by sharing one of 4 different books. And in doing that, you stop to ask the children questions about what they think is going on and what decisions they would make related to certain situations. But then you also enhance it with some songs, some activities, and even some word cards.
Do you feel this product would be beneficial in the classroom environment?
I do, very much so.
So what age group do you think this is beneficial for?
I think it's especially fine for pre-K through grade 2.
So would you use this in your classroom if you were teaching that age?
Yes, I would.
Is there any other behavioral tactics that you would have heard like Carrie Flower?
I don't know of any that are exactly like her in the sense of this program is very flexible. It doesn't take long for a teacher to integrate, maybe as little as a minute on some days.
Would you recommend this product to other fellow educators based on what you have heard?
I would. The character of Carrie is very appealing. She is you would probably place her in a classroom setting so that she could be there throughout the school year. There we go. She is relatively inexpensive, and children really do like her.
Is there any other information you'd like to share about Carrie Flower?
I think it's important to realize that the program is it is PA aligned with the PA standards for social emotional development. I mentioned earlier it's very flexible. So many times teachers do not have a lot of time in a busy day, so you don't have to worry about carving out a whole 30 minutes, say, to do an activity with Carrie Flower.
In your eyes are the highlights of this curriculum?
I think there are 2 main highlights. One is to really appreciate oneself, to learn to do that, and to also take care of oneself, health-wise and otherwise. And the other is to develop empathy and the ability to get along with others. If we look at this page from the first book, I'll just read it and then talk to you more about what it has. Carrie is saying, "Now it's time to start to move. The music helps me find my groove. Dancing is exercising to a beat. Feel it from your head down to your feet." Along with that, then there are questions on the back for the student reader or maybe a volunteer from the community. Dancing is a form of exercise. How often do you exercise? What type of exercises do you do? What does it mean to change your mood? In addition, there are other pages that talk about what are good things to eat. What do you do when you meet someone for the first time? Should you believe in your first impressions necessarily? In addition, in terms of talking more about empathy, the program has what's called a conflict resolution mat, where children are invited to this mat that's displayed on the floor. It's like a large flower, but they're each given a card of something to say to get the conversation moving if one child has a concern with another child. And so it becomes a vehicle for them to actually share their feelings and brainstorm solutions to problems they might be having. There's 4 books in the series. This comes from the very first book, but then there's Carrie Goes to the Hospital, where she meets another young child that is much more ill than she is. She also goes to camp and meets all sorts of new people and has to get along with them. And then there's a book about teasing. And so each book really, again, develops those themes of coming to know oneself, appreciating oneself, learning how to speak with others, and certainly developing empathy for whoever you might encounter.
Are you familiar with the Carrie Flower learning curriculum?
Yes and no. I have practiced it before my sophomore year in college. We went to a school and we were paired up and we read the first book of Carrie Flower to students, and we would talk about healthy habits that they knew versus the healthy habits that they practiced, and just to find out how much they knew about their health.
Have you used the Carrie Flower learning curriculum before?
Yes.
How would you describe the Carrie Flower curriculum to administrators that may not know about it?
I would describe it as very helpful because there are many components of Carrie Flower. Not only does it talk about healthy habits and healthy behaviors, throughout the book series it talks about important stuff like coping skills. That one book is strictly about teasing and bullying and how to deal with it, how to spot it, how to do something about it. And then there are other traits that Carrie Flower talks about. Some of them would be how to express your feelings, and as you can see with some of the dolls in the package, it talks a lot about diversity, and those are important things that we need to teach from a young age.
So do you feel this product would be beneficial in the classroom environment?
Absolutely. It's a very relatable curriculum, especially with the dolls and the characters that come with it.
So you're an education major. If you had this in your classroom, would you use it?
Most definitely, yes.
Is there any other behavioral tactics that you have heard of like Carrie Flower?
No, I think Carrie Flower is very unique when it comes to its structure and curriculum.
So would you recommend this product to other fellow educators based on what you have heard and used?
Absolutely, yes.
How does Carrie Flower compare to other learning curriculums that you've seen or used?
I feel like Carrie Flower is very much more personalized. Like, we do focus on behavior and cooperation among students, but this, instead of separately taking behavior and cooperation, Carrie Flower combines it together for a whole different experience for the lesson.
Do you have any final statements to educators considering purchasing Carrie Flower?
I would say the investment is definitely worthwhile because not only does it relate to students, it can also relate to teachers. They seem to always be together and often act very mean. I asked my mom, why do they act that way and often cause a scene? They make fun of the way I look and dress, so I don't want to go to school. I feel very sad and afraid when they are so cruel. Sometimes, Mom said, kids tease to make others feel sad. They make fun of the way a person looks or talks to make themselves feel glad. I told my mom I was very scared and just wanted to run away, and I thought the same thing would happen when I saw them the next day. Carrie, it will only get worse if ignored or quietly accepted. It is important to tell me or an adult, everyone should be respected. When you're being teased about the clothes you wear, just say, thanks, I quite like them too. I think they have real flair. Agreeing with the teasing person is a good way to stop teasing. They may not know what to say, which you may find quite pleasing. It can be fun to be part of a group and be happy you belong, but always walk away when you feel something is wrong. Making decisions on your own can indeed be hard enough. When other people pressure you, it can be really rough. Sometimes it is very hard to be the only one who says no, but you can do it, Carrie. It's a healthy way to grow. Buzzy, did you see what happened when the girls were teasing Carrie? I heard them make fun of her petals, and the girls were really scary. What did you do, Buzzy, when Carrie was being teased? I went to tell the teacher so she could intercede. So what I really like about Carrie Flower is that both pages will have it written so that the teachers can explain it and read from the back also while showing the text and the pictures to the students. And what Carrie Flower also comes with is at the bottom, there are CF tips, so Carrie Flower tips. And it will ask like prompting questions for the students to be able to answer to create a deeper level of thinking.